The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Chapter 11. The Emerald City of Oz. Part 1. Even with the green spectacles, Dorothy and her friends were dazzled at first by the bright, wonderful city. They walked on green marble paving. Where the blocks met, rows of emeralds were set close together and sparkled in the bright sun. The window panes were green glass. Even the sky over the city looked a little green, and the sunlight seemed green too.
Everything here is green.
Many people, men, women, and children, were walking around. They all wore green clothes and even had greenish skin. There were many shops on the street, and everything inside them was green. Green candy and green popcorn were for sale, along with green shoes, green hats, and all kinds of green clothes. At one stand, a man sold green lemonade. Children bought it. Dorothy saw they paid with green pennies. There were no horses or other animals. Everyone looked happy, calm, and doing well. The guardian of the gates led them through the streets to a big building in the center of the city. It was the Palace of Oz, the Great Wizard. A soldier stood at the door in a green uniform with a long green beard. "Here are strangers," the guardian of the gates told him. "They want to see the Great Oz. Come inside." The soldier said, "I will take your message to him."
Come inside.
They went through the palace gates. They were led into a big room. The room had a green carpet. The pretty green furniture was set with emeralds. Before they entered, the soldier made them wipe their feet on a green mat. When they were seated, he said politely, "Please make yourselves comfortable while I go to the throne room door and tell Oz you are here." They waited a long time before the soldier came back. When he returned at last, Dorothy asked, "Have you seen Oz?" "Oh, no," said the soldier. "I have never seen him. But I spoke to him as he sat behind his screen and gave him your message. He said he will see you if you want, but each of you must go in alone, and he will meet only one person each day. You must stay in the palace for several days, so I will show you to rooms where you can rest after your journey." "Thank you," said the girl. "That is very kind of Oz."
Please make yourselves comfortable.
The soldier blew a green whistle, and a young girl in a pretty green silk dress came in. She had green hair and green eyes. She bowed to Dorothy and said, "Follow me. I will show you your room." Dorothy said goodbye to her friends, except Toto. She took the dog in her arms and followed the green girl through 7 passages. They went up 3 flights of stairs. They came to a room at the front of the palace. It was a very sweet little room, with a soft, comfortable bed. The bed had green silk sheets and a green velvet cover. Beautiful green flowers stood in the windows. In the wardrobe there were many green dresses made of silk, satin, and velvet. All of them fit Dorothy perfectly. "Make yourself at home," said the green girl. "If you want anything, ring the bell. Oz will send for you tomorrow morning."
Wow, there are many dresses here.
She left Dorothy alone and went back to the others. She led them to rooms, and each one stayed in a very nice part of the palace. This kindness meant nothing to the Scarecrow. When he was alone in his room, he stood in one place just inside the door and waited for morning. Lying down would not rest him, and he could not close his eyes. The Tin Woodman lay on his bed out of habit, because he remembered being made of flesh. He could not sleep, so he moved his joints up and down all night to keep them working well. The Lion wanted a bed of dry leaves in the forest, and did not like being shut in a room. But he was sensible and did not worry. He jumped on the bed, curled up like a cat, and purred himself to sleep in a minute.
Good night, everyone.
The next morning after breakfast, the Green Girl came to get Dorothy. She dressed Dorothy in a very pretty gown of green brocaded satin. Dorothy put on a green silk apron and tied a green ribbon around Toto's neck. Then they started for the throne room of the Great Oz. First they came to a great hall, where many ladies and gentlemen of the court wore rich clothes. As Dorothy came in, they looked at her with interest, and one whispered, "Are you really going to see Oz the Terrible?" "Of course," said the girl. "If he will see me, he will see you," said the soldier who took your message. "He doesn't like people asking to see him. At first he was angry and told me to send you back. Then he asked what you looked like, and when I mentioned your silver shoes, he became very interested. Finally, I told him about the mark on your forehead, and he decided to let you in." Just then a bell rang. The Green Girl said, "That is the signal. You must go into the throne room alone." She opened a small door, and Dorothy walked in bravely and found a wonderful place. It was a big round room with a high arched roof. The walls, ceiling, and floor were covered with large emeralds set close together. A great light in the center of the roof, bright like the sun, made the emeralds sparkle beautifully. What interested Dorothy most was the big green marble throne in the middle of the room. It looked like a chair and sparkled with gems, like everything else. In the center of the chair was a huge head with no body, no arms, and no legs. It had eyes, a nose, and a mouth, but no hair, and it was bigger than the head of the biggest giant.
I am Oz, the Great and Terrible.
As Dorothy looked at it with wonder and fear, the eyes slowly turned and stared at her hard. Then the mouth moved, and a voice said, "I am Oz, the Great and Terrible. Who are you, and why do you seek me?" The voice was not as scary as she expected from the big head, so she felt brave and answered, "I am Dorothy, small and meek. I came to ask for your help." The eyes looked at her and thought for a full minute. Then the voice said, "Where did you get the silver shoes?" "I got them from the Wicked Witch of the East when my house fell on her and killed her," she said. "Where did you get the mark on your forehead?" The voice asked. "The Good Witch of the North kissed me there when she said goodbye," said the girl. "Then she sent me to you," she added.
She kissed my forehead.
The eyes looked at her sharply again and saw she told the truth. Then Oz asked, "What do you want me to do?" "Please send me back to Kansas, where my Aunt Em and Uncle Henry are," she said earnestly. "I'm sure Aunt Em is very worried because I've been away so long." The eyes winked 3 times, looked up at the ceiling, down at the floor, and rolled around so strangely they seemed to see every part of the room. At last they looked at Dorothy again. "Why should I do this for you?" asked Oz. "Because you are strong and I am weak. Because you are a great wizard and I am only a little girl. But you were strong enough to kill the Wicked Witch of the East," said Oz. "That just happened," Dorothy said simply. "I couldn't help it."
That just happened.
"Well," said the head, "I will give you my answer. You should not expect me to send you back to Kansas. You must do something for me first. In this country, everyone pays for what he gets. If you want me to use my magic to send you home, you must help me first. Help me, and I will help you." "What must I do?" asked the girl. "Kill the Wicked Witch of the West," Oz answered. "But I can't," Dorothy cried in surprise. "You killed the Witch of the East, and you wear the silver shoes with strong magic," he said. "Only one wicked witch remains in this land. When you can tell me she is dead, I will send you back to Kansas, but not before."
The silver shoes have powerful magic.
The little girl began to cry because she was so disappointed. The eyes winked again and looked at her with worry. It was as if the great Oz thought she could help him if she wanted. "I never killed anything on purpose," she sobbed. "Even if I wanted to, how could I kill the Wicked Witch? If you are great and terrible and cannot kill her, how can I do it?" "I don't know," said the head. "But that is my answer. Until the Wicked Witch dies, you will not see your aunt and uncle again. Remember, the witch is wicked, very wicked, and she should be killed. Now go, and don't ask to see me again until you finish your task."
Lose.
Dorothy left the throne room sadly and returned to the Lion, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Woodman, who were waiting to hear what Oz had said. "There is no hope for me," she said. "Oz will not send me home until I kill the Wicked Witch of the West, and I can never do that." Her friends were sorry but could not help her. Dorothy went to her room, lay on the bed, and cried until she fell asleep.